There's an island at the far end of the world where trees are giants that can tower up to 100 meters tall. Tasmania. Once upon a time, the forest covered the entire island. Wedged between Australia and the Antarctic, Tasmania was uninhabited for ages. Its giant trees reigned supreme over the land. But today, 500,000 people live here. Logging has been forbidden here since the 1990s. Ron Morrison is one of the last foresters to have cut the trunks of these prized trees. Like most Tasmanians, he comes from a long line of lumberjacks. Today, it's his granddaughter's turn to walk in the footsteps of her ancestors and discover the legendary green gold that made the fortune of her island.
We're here. Not so bright, is it, up here out of the sun? Another Huon pine there. Might be 5 years old. Here's another one, about tall as you, but it's older than you. It's probably 15 years old, maybe even 20. The oldest Huon pine that they know of is 3,400 years old, still growing. See there? It's the slowest growing tree, certainly in Tasmania. It takes 5 years for it to be that high.
The history of the Huon pine began here 200 years ago. The tree was named after French explorer Huon de Kermadec and is extremely slow growing. Whereas the Eucalyptus regnans is one of the tallest trees in the world, the Huon pine is no doubt one of the oldest.
Have a smell. The Huon pine. So the tree's been dead for 90 years and you can smell the oil in the wood. The wood does not decay in the water. Supplies on the trolley, and 2 men would wind it up, wind the winch up. But all the shafts have gone rusty. My grandfather, he worked here, up where we're going, with horses, the draft horses, 76 years ago, nearly.
The timber industry in Tasmania was established by convicts sent over from England in the 19th century. And European colonists made their fortune off the Huon pine, prized for its fine grain, golden colour, and rot-resistant properties. Thousands of these trees were used to build warships and merchant vessels.
When I was young, I worked in the bush with my father as well. He'd take me to the bush when I was about 3 years old. Live in the bush, in the camps in the bush. You catch wallabies to eat. Dad used to make the bread in a camp oven. They'd take flour and rice. And then I had to go to school. But I didn't go to school much either. Dad would quite often take me to work on school days. So I learned how to cut trees down at a very early age.
Gradually, the convicts and small-scale logging gave way to family sawmills, which in turn were replaced by large industrial operations. But the Huon pine grows so slowly that it almost entirely disappeared.
The big companies came in and they had all the rights, they were supported by government, and really it just wasn't the best thing for the state because the small families or the small timber operators really didn't do that much damage to the bush because it was selective. They just took one tree here, one there, but when the big companies came in, it was all clear felled and then burnt and then trees planted. It was just a huge change to the way the timber industry had operated in Tasmania. One X mark there, and then another one up here. So the old bushmen, they hit the tree with the axe. Now, you listen, Ella. You listen. Makes a hollow noise.
Young Tasmanians can still discover this prized tree. It was saved from extinction by a law passed 20 years ago to protect it. Some families whose livelihood used to depend entirely on the Huon pine have managed to adapt to the legislation. They've turned their sawmills into living museums.
Welcome to Morrison's Sawmill. Come on in, we've got a live demonstration happening.
Ecotourism is booming these days, and the Huon pine has become an attraction on a par with the Tasmanian devil. People also come for a taste of history and to learn about the island's pioneers.
It's easy to work. It's beautiful stuff. All the wood turners love it, but the wood turners like the hard stuff, see? That would polish better than a bit of soft wood.